Hi, today I'm going to talk to you about animal testing. How many of you have a pet? Okay. Well, I do too. This is Marcy. I love her to death, and I don't think there's any way that I would let anything for human, I wouldn't let it touch her. I would never test Zyrtec or Lysol or Botox on her because it's not ever for her benefit. Testing on animals is done for the purpose of seeing what the overall effect of a medicine or a product is on the entire body or the environment depending on the test. Each company that tests on animals is required by the Animal Welfare Act to report exactly how many animals are used as test subjects. This does not include mice, rats, and birds, which are used in between 80 to 90% of tests. The FDA requires that all drugs be tested on animals. However, you have to consider that every human is different and so is every animal. With this fact, more and more animals have to be used. The effects that a drug has on an animal will likely be substantially different from the effects that it has on a human. What if chocolate were tested on a dog? Most humans like chocolate, but if a dog were to eat as much chocolate as a human did in a test, it wouldn't work out. And I know that I wouldn't want to eat any chocolate after that. Okay, some of the tests that are regularly performed on animals are toxicology tests. Toxicology tests are started to be readily used in the early 20th century because new regulations were put into place after a number of incidents involving drugs related to human death. The toxicology tests are used to establish endpoints, which are harmful side effects of the products. The side effects can be anywhere from mild irritation to cancer. The tests are done in range from acute tests, which are a single exposure to the drug, to chronic testing, which is a duration of up to 2 years. According to the Humane Society of the United States, some of the most common toxicology tests are carcinogenicity testing, acute system toxicity testing, and ecotoxicity testing. Carcinogenicity testing is where cancer is chemically induced by either genotoxic or non-genotoxic growth-promoting mechanisms. Acute system toxicity testing is when death or evident toxicity occurs within a short time of giving a single high dosage of a substance by force feeding, forced inhalation, and/or application to the skin of the animal. Ecotoxicity testing occurs when there are chemically induced harmful effects on wildlife populations, such as mammals, fish, amphibians, crustaceans, and other aquatic invertebrates. According to animalrights.change.org, more than 25 million animals are used per year in the United States for animal testing. These animals include monkeys, beagles, chimpanzees, and other cats, dogs, mice, rabbits, farm animals, and more. This does not count invertebrates such as the fruit fly, and when you do count them, the total number of animals goes up to around 100 million. Because animals cannot give their consent for tests that are being done on them, they are helpless and have no idea what they will endure during testing. Humans, on the other hand, have to sign a document of consent saying that they are willing to partake in an experiment, and they are also given some sort of idea of what is going to happen and what the possible side effects may be. Animals aren't able to receive the notice and thus aren't able to give their oral and/or written consent, as if they could anyway. Are we so much more important than animals just because we have the power of choice? Animals can feel pain just as much as we can. So if we don't want to feel pain, why would we force it upon a helpless creature? The 3 R's of animal testing are replacement, reduction, and refinement. Using these methods, we can develop new ways to test products without harming animals. The epi-skin, epiderm, and skin ethics tests are used to replace animals in skin irritation tests. Some ways of reducing the amount of animals in tests are using fixed dose, acute toxic class, and up and down procedures for acute mammalian toxicity. These tests make it so there will be a 50% reduction in the number of animals used in these tests. The epi-skin test uses cells obtained from the top layer of pieces of skin and can be adjusted to a particular scientist's needs. The skin can be made to look more aged, tan, or pale depending on the desired type. According to treehugger.com, by using donor cells from women of different ethnicities, we can assess the efficiency of sunscreen for various skin tones. The epiderm test is also another skin irritant test. It is a test to measure the amount of corrosion that a product can create. This test has been formally validated by both the United States and the European Union as a replacement for the Drey's rabbit skin test. The epiderm testing is done by the Mattek Corporation's patent of in vitro human skin development, which involves a 3D epidermis model. For the test, the product is applied to the epiderm sample of skin for either 3 minutes or 60 minutes. This is a major advancement in the animal-free testing. And then the rabbit picture in the bottom left corner is like an example of the Drey's rabbit test. And then the purpose of cancer research is to see and understand the effect of cancer on the body. The nude mice are a group of mice that were genetically created by scientists in 1962. Nude mice are immunodeficient. This means that their bodies cannot reject tumor transplants from other species. They have this capability because they do not have thymuses, which aid in the maintenance of the immune system. The nude mouse was a breakthrough for cancer research because the mice can have tumors such as that of a human transplanted into them. There are 2 types of testing dealing with cancer, which are specific and different production of tumors. Specific tumor transplanting is done by placing a tumor from a human into a mouse, and different production of tumors involves cancers such as breast cancer, and they are induced through interbreeding and transgenic methods. The treatment options for cancer are also being tested on animals. Chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and immunotherapy are being tested for efficiency and potency on mice. No alternatives could completely get rid of the use of mice, although the numbers of animals used in research have been reduced significantly via in vitro procedures such as cell and tissue cultures. Cell cultures have become less expensive than using whole animals, and it is easier to customize each experiment to a particular scientist's needs. You can see the comparison through past experiments because in old methods, using a whole animal was needed, and it needed to be observed over its entire lifetime for tumor development, which took a significant amount of time and money compared to today's modern techniques. According to the US FDA, a new medicinal compound entering phase 1 testing in humans, often representing the culmination of upwards of a decade of preclinical screening and evaluation, is estimated to only have an 8% chance of reaching the market. This is because animal studies so often fail to predict the safety problems that ultimately halt development. According to UMWTalks22, since 2002, 50 drugs that were tested on animals and FDA approved were taken off the market or relabeled because of the harmful effects and deaths that were caused to humans. We as consumers need to be conscious and research the companies of the products we are using. If we spend just a little time doing research, it will pay off. I'm not asking you to change everything about what you buy, but I am asking you to re-examine what products you want to represent you. According to the USAtoday.com, the EPA, the National Toxicology Program, and the National Institutes of Health signed a Memorandum of Understanding in 2008 to develop and put into effect new methods of animal testing. The end product of this memorandum is the ultimate end of animal testing. The end of animal testing is supposed to occur in about 9 years. It's 9 years because there needs to be new methods of testing to be developed so we can test effectively. And as of 2008, the EPA started evaluating 300 chemicals using new test methods. On an international note, the European Union has banned animal testing for cosmetics starting this year. This is highly encouraging for using other methods. This could make the epi-skin and the epiderm test the new norm for testing. Although dogs are not the leading animal used in tests, you must keep in mind that just because rodents are not usually the stereotypical pets, it doesn't make testing right. I want to encourage you all to become better consumers by asking you to support only companies that are animal testing free, writing a letter to your congressional representative, and to write letters to the companies that do support animal testing, encouraging them to get rid of the practice. When you are shopping, I encourage you to keep your pets in mind because the animals that are getting tested, had they not been generally raised in labs, and could be somebody's pet. Make sure to support animal-free products so that those animals can have homes just like your pet.